I'm Hugh McTighe. I'm Puerto Rican on my mom's side and Scotch-Irish on my dad's, so I identify as a white Latino.
So my name's Satori Adams, and I am half Mian, which is a really small tribe in Laos, and a quarter black and a quarter white.
My name's Cameron Kai Bauer. I was born and raised in Tokyo. However, I lived in Hawaii for 7 years.
I definitely had points in time where I really wanted to get into like my Scottish culture, and I started wearing a kilt sometimes. And then I also had stages where like I really wanted to learn how to play salsa music and start speaking Spanish more. And then in the last few years of my life, I think I've really come into understanding that like I can be both and I can recognize both. Being a white Latino, I'll always be wider than my Latino family, and I'll always be more Latino than my white family, you know, so you're kind of stuck in the middle.
You're not really accepted by anyone, so it's really like hard to identify as one thing. I've always like just considered myself like a mush of things instead of being like, oh, like I identify more with my Asian side, or I identify more with like my white side. I think like now I just identify as like being multiracial, just because it's kind of hard to be accepted by like one group.
Racial stuff, like, because I don't look Japanese and I do speak Japanese, people do think that like I am an outsider. They think that I am American, but I basically think that I am more Japanese, and that kind of doesn't match with what we both think. I once tried to go into a cram school. There wasn't any problem for me and studying for myself, but people told me that, you know, the class itself was slowing down because I cannot speak Japanese. I mean, I cannot speak Japanese or study Japanese properly. They said that, you know, this guy is not Japanese, so why is he here?
When I was younger, I remember like I went to VBS, Vacation Bible Study, and it was at my family's church, and everyone there speaks Mian, and I don't speak Mian very well, and that also made it harder to make friends. Like, there's not a lot of people who are half Mian like me, like in the community. Like, everyone's pretty much like a full-bred Mian person, and so I definitely would say like at church, where you would think that you like wouldn't be discriminated against, like I was definitely being discriminated against.
One of like the most distinguished experience I had was like back on Vashon, where I live. I was getting out of like dance class, and I was cold because it was winter, so I had a big flannel on. And I walked into a grocery store on Island, and the cashier like looked at me and immediately put on his like most stereotypical like kind of like Cholo accent and was like, "Hey Holmes, we don't want any trouble, Holmes." Just took one look at me and said that stuff. That same guy, like another day I was wearing a guayabera. I walked in again, and that same guy was like, you know, asking if I like sold drugs, and was asking if I had like friends in the drug trade in South America. It's things like that where you never expect it to happen, and then there's just some punk who does stuff like that.
Basically, people in my country think that if someone looks different, they expect more from them. So I would change that. I would say that, you know, all people are equal. Like, they have their own backgrounds.
People always think it's like really exotic. Like, I would change that about it. Like, people being like, oh, like that's so cool, like that's so exotic. Like, I don't really think it's that exotic. Like, I like appreciate the like appreciation from other people, but like people kind of treating me like I'm like a freaking like animal or something.
I would like to not be seen as something that's like exotic or like a hybrid. I mean, I was born in Seattle and I was raised here, but when people hear that I am mixed, like they really, really focus in on that Puerto Rican part and assume that like I've grown up in a drastically different environment when I really haven't.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you.
Oh wow, is this for me?
No, you just get the stem. Break off some stem for yourself.
Sure.